Happy Friday, good morning, welcome to the vlog in the spring sunshine. I'm Toby, the organisation's Chief Executive, just with two or three things I thought was worth sharing at the end of this longish week. There's been an awful lot of discussion this week, hasn't there, in the public realm about the way in which the benefit system or the welfare system operates in this country. And there's really troubling conversations, I think, about the place of disability, about arguments on mental health over diagnosis and other challenges, particularly to young people moving from school into work, where there are much larger numbers of people than 2 decades ago who are registered as unwell. Here at Ardash, of course, we need to pay attention to those things and we need to keep it practical. So one of the things that is happening is we've committed to expand our access to welfare and to debt advice. We're doing that in partnership in each of our 3 places with colleagues in the Citizens Advice Bureau. What we want to do is to make sure that access to that support is a routine part of clinical pathways, rather than, if you like, a leaflet that we hand to somebody, handing them off over there to some advice. So we'll see as we go through the next 6 months how that work goes, which is in tandem with our poverty proofing work. We'd expect, as a practical step from our poverty proofing work, to make some announcements in coming weeks about support for travel for patients who need to attend our care but are in want of funds to do so. Really important in a country where disability benefit is massively underclaimed, that as an organisation we place people's finances and risk of poverty at the heart of what we're trying to do in terms of health recovery. Now, there's some important papers before the board next week, and one of them that caught my eye is in relation to Promise 26. You know, we've done a lot of work on anti-racism, and there are some positive suggestions contained in our latest staff survey about progress in that regard. But Promise 26 is about a much broader set of areas of potential discrimination and bigotry, and there's a paper on work we need to do in the coming year in that space. Taking the same cue, i.e. the one from the staff survey that I've just referenced positively, there are some worrying signs that potentially reasonable adjustments in particular, despite a big investment of nearly £100,000 in that each of the last couple of years, we've still got work to do in making sure that it's possible to work in this organisation and have flexibility, work in this organisation and have decent work-life balance and also meet caring responsibilities. So an important paper to look out for, although I am really encouraged by our continued progress in tackling the gender pay gap. I told you we'd got from about 11% down to about 4%, and with the implementation of our real living wage from April, we expect to see that fall further. Now, let me end with something just unashamedly positive. You'll know over the last 6 months that colleagues have been working really hard to reimagine our charity, now called Your Hearts and Minds, continuing to focus on end-of-life care, but also having missions around a good start in life, our best self, research and education. And over the last few days, a combination of local voluntary sector leaders and our charity trustees, together with some patient representatives, have been selecting the award winners for our community grants programme. Now, there's £77,000 worth of small grants that are being given out in this, the 77th year of the National Health Service. We had roughly twice as many bids as we could accommodate. But if you just look on the screen at the range of organisations we are able to support in Rotherham, in North Lincolnshire and in Doncaster, you'll see the kind of help we're able to put into place across a range of cohorts of the population, young kids, teenagers, older adults and working age adults, a diversity of organisations, often very small organisations where the money we're able to give as a grant between £1,000 and £3,000 could make a really big difference to the functioning of those organisations. These are key relationships. I hope to see many of our bid winners at the annual members meeting on July the 19th in the Scunthorpe Sunshine. But a really important part of our organisational mission is to build these partnerships with voluntary sector organisations, whether they're big ones or small ones, whether they're long-standing partnerships like S62 or new partnerships, as many are listed on the screen. So thanks very much to Jenny, to Pauline and to Joe in particular for masterminding that process, to Deborah, to Lau and to Dave for the help that they've given us from local voluntary sector bodies. If any of those organisations catch your eye, you want to know more, get in touch with Joe McDonough. But well done to our charity, Your Hearts and Minds, for keeping it real and for investing in local voluntary sector organisations. Cheers. Have a good weekend.